So here we have a layout of the Georgia Brown Convention access. So there are different ways that you can there's actually two ways that you can use number that you use. And because of that, we're going to have a special event in the front of the exhibit floor next to the registration. We'd like to also point out that he and his wife
with a picture and your head is the size of your entire body. It's good to be with you this morning. In 2007, I was working in a refinery up in the northern part of Texas. And I was on a contract job there because Jennifer and I had just started our company about a year prior. And I was implementing a mechanical integrity program using some of the new systems in risk-based inspection. I was sitting in the office this day, and one of the primary client contacts, Jason, walks by. Jason in a lot of refineries, you're mechanical integrity guys, like you to come put in your 2 cents. Okay. So Jason and I walked down the hall to the main conference room and the facility there, and I walk in, the plant manager sitting there, the maintenance manager, the operations manager, the technical manager, a couple of operations folks, inspectors. There's probably 20 people sitting in this room. And I don't know what they were talking about. So we sit down, and pretty soon it comes out that one of the operators had used a thermography gun and found some hot spots on a couple of the heater tubes. The inspection guys, the operators, well, I listened to them talk about what to do. There was a lot of vehement, I'd say, arguments about the projected reliability. What's going to happen? Are these tubes maybe creeping? Might they rupture? What might be the impacts if they do? Should we shut down now and repair the heater? Or should we wait until a turnaround that was just 6 months later? And as I watched the plant manager in time survey the situation, listen to all the difference of opinion, I sat there and kept thinking to myself, I wonder what the history is. How much versus what it was 10, 15 years ago? Have we done any thickness measurements? Have we strapped the tube to look for creep? What history, what data do we have? The meeting broke that day with the charge. Everyone was supposed to go out, spend the next hour, 2 hours gathering that. In fact, imagine that we were in a meeting like that today, 12 years later, and the world is talking about big data and machine learning, artificial intelligence. There are companies literally planning to spend billions of dollars to figure out how to better utilize their data. And not just in oil and gas. I picked refining because that was my background, but you could be talking about mining operations, wastewater treatment facilities, specialty chemical operations, food and drug, automotive manufacturing, power generation, any large-scale facility. The name of the game today is, how do I become more reliable? And more importantly, how do we leverage our data? So imagine a group of us, we're sitting at a facility today, and the machines you're trying to understand the most are the ones sitting in the room with you. What are the motivations? What are the decision processes that a group of humans are going through as they look at this situation and try to take data into their brains and come out with an opinion or a logical outcome? A lot of studies have been done on this in the last few years. In fact, to really think about the human process and how that human process connects to data, we have to go all the way back to the 1950s to a guy named Daniel Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman grew up in the 1930s, 1940s in Israel. And he was the first Israeli psychologist assigned to the IDF, Israeli Defense Federation. So he comes in and he said, and he's charged immediately in 1953 when he got his job as part of the IDF. He was charged with trying to figure out, how do we determine which Israeli officers will be good? Which ones will be good leaders? And Kahneman begins to look at the data processes, the systems that a person makes their purchasing decisions based on logic. Kahneman says you're full of crap. And it's not how people make decisions. In fact, in Kahneman's book called Thinking Fast and Slow, he talks about the decision processes that go into the human mind, and specifically what motivates. You know, at some point in this process, go back to 2007, I'm sitting in this room, we had come back to talk about this heater and what to do. And we got all sorts of ideas and all sorts of data. People saying that, look, we've done these kind of tests before, we've looked for hot spots, these things, we can last, we don't think creep is happening, it's not above the creep temperature for that metallurgy. And some data was coming up that we were having an increased rate of heart disease. Slight increases were starting to be experienced around the country. And there was a new theory out there that we needed to be eating a lot more carbohydrates because fat was turning into cholesterol, causing people to be obese, causing heart disease, causing hypertension, high blood pressure. And so in 1977, Senator George McGovern, who at the time was the chairman of the Senate Special Committee on Human Health, convened a tribunal. And over the next few days, McGovern would bring in experts from all over the world to theorize, to speculate, to postulate on what was important when it came to obesity, diabetes, human health, heart disease. By the end of this several-day tribunal, the Senate had decided, and we need to increase the amount of carbohydrates that we eat to get rid of dietary fat. 2 years later, the U.S. government would put together the U.S. Dietary Recommended Guidelines. We've all seen it. We grew up in the 1970s Philadelphia baseball team. About 4 years later, the guy named Daryl Morey was hired to be the general manager of the Houston Rockets. He's still the Houston Rockets general manager today. He served in that capacity for 12 years. During that time, the Houston Rockets have had the second highest winning percentage of any NBA team. By the time 2010 came around, our stats told us, our data told us Lynn was he was a no miss. He was an absolute gem in the draft. Morey, why did we pick him? Because he didn't look like an NBA player. Our preconceived notions for what an NBA player is supposed to look like trumped our data, even though we believed in our ability for a player to come down with the ball or the number of points they put in a game, but the ability to do this was a better indicator of their future success in the NBA in our experts to know that they really are experts. First of all, though, he says, what is it that we use normally as humans? How do we gauge if somebody is an expert? What is it when someone walks through him, how do we say, yes, we believe that guy's an expert? He says, well, the first thing we look at is age. The second thing we look at is resume. The third thing we look at is confidence. Man, that Ryan guy sure seems confident what he's talking about. He must be an expert.